Oh, well, hello there. Didn't see you guys there. Welcome back to another episode of the Minecraft Let's Play with Rahab. And in this episode, we're going to go ahead and kind of get this a little bit more finished up, at least with the final look. How did I miss those blocks? I thought I filled all of these in. I guess not. But yeah, so we're going to go ahead and I don't know if maybe you know exactly, but as you can tell, this is kind of going to be, well, I've already told you in the last episode, this is going to be the farm area. Well, not up here, obviously, but down there. How in the world those sheep are getting out? That makes zero sense to me, but whatever. So yeah, we gotta go ahead, and I'm getting pretty much going to be putting in the sky, I guess. Right? We're gonna get the sky in. Hopefully today we get the sky, the ground, right? Oh. Put in the ground and maybe get the main structure of this build put in, right? And then we might work on the farms in a later episode. Come on, move out the way, piggy. Right now, it won't just all be blue. Of course, there'll be some clouds and stuff throughout, but this will just be a little rough estimate, which is why I haven't tore this out yet, because I wanted to kind of have a floor so I could do this, so I'm not scaffolding up everywhere. One big thing, which you've seen me walk by a couple of times, this, on the other side of this wall, well, this is a tube, right? This takes the zombies up, but this structure right here is one of the zombie spawners for our dual zombie spawner, where we get all of our XP from. I'm not sure how I'm going to deal with that. I might just have to cover that up and make it look like a really awkward cloud. But another thing that I'm thinking I might also go ahead and do, but then it kind of ruins this whole room. I don't know. I was thinking about maybe just making it a single zombie spawner. And this is like a whole dungeon room, right, that I made out specifically for that at the beginning of this world before I came up with this idea to go down there. So, not entirely sure what we'll do. Like I said, I don't want to just ruin all of that. So I might just cover that up with a cloud. Well, I definitely overestimated the amount of wool that we were going to have. But this is fine because we can use this wool. We'll still have to put some down the sides, right? Like, this is going to be kind of a forced perspective build, right? As in, kind of where you're standing at is going to be what you see, right? So, obviously, with the size restraints, right, that I have, because I can't go much taller because then this would really become a big eyesore. I don't think that we're going to be able to build stuff like super, super tall down here. Max that I was going to have this high anyways was only 20. So I only took into consideration from everything I'm going to be doing down here to be 20 blocks high. Which, as you can see, we're not even 20 blocks off the surface. So it's even going to be just a little bit shorter. With that being said, though, the builds are going to be a little bit smaller, but the way that you're going to see them and perceive them, they'll look a lot bigger than what they are, right? So that's kind of the whole plan with this area down here, which I think would be kind of cool. It should turn out pretty nice. But yeah, as you can see here, now all I'm doing is just kind of clearing out this floor, so we should be able to see this from down below. Now, like I said, since I still don't know exactly what I'm going to be doing with the walls, all of this area, I think the scaffolding, it's going to be kind of a pain to deal with, but shouldn't be too much of an issue. And that's, like I said, that's a little bit farther down the road. I just kind of am ready to get a visual of what this will look like. Well, that doesn't look really any better at all, does it? Hmm. So, pretty much, this is kind of, I don't understand the patterns in the lighting. But you know what? Whatever, that's fine. We'll actually deal with that later. I've got an idea where I like use the clouds and have lighting on top of the clouds to light up the blue blocks above because I mean come on, let's be real, that doesn't look like a beautiful blue sky at all. It looks like it'd be always nighttime, doesn't it? So it's fine. I've got something to do with that. But well, that was kind of weird. My game just crashed. That's the first time that's ever happened, especially on the PS5, but I don't think it ever happened on the PS4 either. But man, that was really weird. I really thought we just about lost the world. But here is kind of something I've been working on for quite some time. The title is it's Rahab's Survival Guide, right? Um, it's basically just a book that I'm going to keep in the world. It'll contain all the rules that I'll be playing by, some of the goals that I have for the whole world. So that's like, I don't know, kind of generalized things that I'd like to accomplish. And then I've got my project tracker, which keeps track of all like the farms I've built, cities I've made, like different projects, right? And then you have key locations. Those will be kind of coordinates from all over the map. So on those pages in the book, you'll find the coordinates for our spawn, um, just just kind of important places, right? Not everything. I'll have an adventure book for that. And then the last one, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's the death counter. The only issue with the death counter is that we are on episode 17, and I always thought, because I've played Java before, and most people that you see play Minecraft, they're playing Java. So I always just assumed that Bedrock would keep track of those stats as well. Well, turns out they do not keep track of those stats. So I'm going to have to do it in this book. Now, the problem is that we've lost any number of deaths that we've had previous to this episode. Like, if I've died off camera or something, right? I'm going to rewatch some of my old videos and I'll make sure to get those deaths from the older videos tallied into the book. If you have been watching and you know if sometimes I've died, let me know and I can go back and find them and I'll make sure to tally those up into the book, right? I guess I can kind of go ahead and show you some of the rules. I've just kind of worked this book out. I don't have everything in here right now. Like, I don't have my world goals or no projects have been tracked yet. This has just kind of been made. So let's go ahead and take a look at these rules, though. So rule number 1 is no mending until I've beat the game, right? I have all of these villagers. I could easily set up a villager trader system. I'm surrounded by water. I could just be fishing nonstop to get mending books. So I'm not retiring gear because I've been retiring gear, not because I just didn't know that those were options, but more or less that I didn't want to do those, right? And I just feel like after I've beat the game, that's kind of when you get mending books, right? That's when the first time you find a mending book in the world. Like, I can kill a million mobs and never get a mending book, but then I can find a mending book in one of the ships from the end. So that's, I think so anyways. I'm not entirely sure, but I know a lot of the gear comes with mending on it in the end, cities and stuff like that. So that's kind of why I'm waiting for that. And rule number 2 kind of goes along with rule number 1. Basically, just upon death, I have to retire all gear, right? So that's all of the armor that I'm wearing, which I'm not wearing any right now just for this scene, but all of the armor that I'm wearing, plus all of the tools and equipment I have. So, like an axe, sword, pickaxe, all that, shovel, bow, all that. But like the blocks and stuff, I won't really throw those out because some of those I could have, 3 stacks of iron on me coming from an iron farm or something. That would kind of suck. But that would also, that rule in place about the dying still kind of helps encourage us not to die, right? It also gives us a continual reason to kind of add tools to our bucket of retirees, right? So I don't know. I just think that that'll be an interesting one, kind of increase our awareness, make us not want to die, which is always fun, right? You always try to want to play this game and not die, which at some points is almost too easy. So I like that rule a lot. So rule number 3 is must naturally defeat the mob before farming or cheese killing, right? So, like with cows, before I set up like a super easy cow grinder or anything like that, um, for the cow meat and stuff, I'd have to kill the cow first. That rule's mainly in place though for boss level fights, like fights that are difficult to do, but then have an easy kind of like cheaty way of killing them. The first time I come across them, I don't want it to be an easy one. Like with the Wither, I want to fight it out in the world before I ever think about using like a cheesy way of killing them, right? Same with the Ender Dragon. I don't want my first time fighting the Ender Dragon me just stacking beds on top of the bedrock and blowing it up whenever he comes through. Rule number 4 basically is simple. Just no zero tick farms. I don't know if there are any more available in Bedrock. I know in one of my worlds I used to use one for sugarcane, right? I think there's one for bamboo. I don't know if it still works, but either way, they tend to patch them out, I think I've heard, right? So they don't, it's not intended to be in the game, first off. And secondly, I do not like the way they look or sound. Like, it's hard to put one of those in somewhere in the world and make it look nice, right? Like, make it look like it belongs. Plus, also, Minecraft is huge, right? This world that we're in right now is bigger than planet Earth, I think, right? Even not including like the far lands, so why not take advantage of the space? So that's just kind of one of those particular ones for me that I really care about and I feel like been doing a pretty good job of making sure I don't want to. I just don't want to. They're not in my world and they won't be. So it would never be worth it to ask, right? Rule number 5, everything in the laboratory must be a contraption, right? Doesn't necessarily have to involve redstone, but has to involve some kind of mechanic that you have to kind of mess with stuff, for it to work. And for those asking, the laboratory is what I've named the cave, right? So that rule basically is in place not to make my life easier, but to challenge kind of my redstone and game mechanics, right? So with this one, this was to access the chest, you have to have some kind of contraption to allow me to have access. So I like that. I don't want to have crafting benches. I don't want to have crafting benches just laying around, right? Like even the crafting benches, you have to do something to gain access, right? Um, I don't want furnaces just laying around, which is why we built this furnace room. And the way to load and unload the items into that is a contraption in itself, I want everything in this laboratory to be that kind of system. I don't like doorways that I just left click on and the door opens, right? They want them to be some kind of piston door or a contraption to open that door for me. So it's a pressure plate, a button. So iron doors or even wooden doors with pressure plates, those are considered contraptions to me. Rule number 6 kind of goes along with rule number 5, but it pertains to the surface, right? All surface level farms slash contraptions must be hidden. Um, Less about them being hidden and more about them being aesthetically pleasing, right? Like these farms, which is what I've been using for all of my food, right? Came with this village. I haven't added any farms to the village, right? Um, so that's okay. But like this creeper farm, I don't like that it just floats or just this doesn't look good. And there's nothing I could do to make that look good unless I put an entire building around it, which is okay, right? I don't like floating farms like the Iron Farm or a villager farm, so I would want to have them hidden in a building or to have them designed in a way to make it look like that's meant to be. It's not purely function, you know? There's a lot of fashion to it, I guess is how that goes. I don't know the saying. Rule number 7, no sleeping bag. Um, Kind of actually been doing a good job of following that one throughout the entire Let's Play. Unless I've had my camera accounts where we've been building something and I need the camera account for time lapses, because then both accounts have to sleep, so we usually bring a bed. But in the future, I'm going to consider, from here on out in the future, I'm going to consider that breaking that rule, right? But for the most part, this is the only bed I've used. Tend to, I don't want to have to carry a bed in my inventory, right? Now, the only thing with that is, like, say we're going on an adventure, obviously I'll bring a sleeping bag with me, you know? But yeah, that kind of covers all of the rules. What I do want from you guys, however, though, down in the comment section right now, let me know some rules that you would kind of like, maybe rules that you play with, right? And let me know. I've got a couple extra pages in the book for your guys' suggestions. So please, like I said, let me know down in the comments some rules that you'd like to see added. And while you're at it, make sure to slap that like button and subscribe. But all right, let's go ahead and get back to work. Well, as you can see, um, things have changed a lot around here. Um, Messing with these farms that I'm going to be doing in Creative World, kind of figured out some of the limitations and things that I needed to do. Also to kind of help pull in the view. If you've noticed what I did with that wall, it's going to get smaller as you get farther back, right? And this side is too. I've already got it prepped and ready to go. On the other side of these walls will be the friendly villager trick, where basically they kind of, after they harvest the food, they try to give the wheat to a friend. And so what'll happen is they'll try to give the wheat to somebody I'll have hidden in the wall, but they'll be growing carrots and potatoes. Now, I still haven't figured out the ceiling, but since all of this is kind of raised up a little bit more, I know kind of what I can do to cover this up, and I think I'm just going to build a tree. I have the barn worked out. I think it actually looks really, really nice. So I'm going to go ahead and grab those supplies, and I'll be right back.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Okay, well, I just died. I guess it makes sense since this is the episode where I brought out the rule book. And so I've got to retire all of my gear, huh? It sucks because oh man, I think this one had a few more repairs. I know this did. I know this pickaxe did. This efficiency 5, my first one. Oh man, I know it had one. I had at least 2 more repairs. The shovel was whatever because it was almost dead. And this sword, look at this sword. You couldn't have a better sword, man. I don't even think I repaired it more than once. Okay. Well, I guess I'm gonna go ahead. I can't break the rule, right? Since I just made it. So, what we're going to do with this, right? For now, since I don't have the museum ready, what we'll do is store all of our stuff in this attic. So let's just go ahead and put this barrel here. We'll go ahead and put the shovel, pickaxe, sword. We can put the chainmail, even though like it's nothing, right? It's just something I picked off the ground. And we'll go ahead as the sun sets right in what happened. In episode 17, I fell from a tower of red concrete, narrowly missing the water I was aiming for. We can go ahead and sign this book. It will no longer be editable. That's fine. Sign and close. So, here it is. Our first death. Luckily, I have a fortune pickaxe, so we can at least get this build finished. I think I've got enough like gold armor and stuff laying around from my XP grinder that we should be able to make it through this episode. I'm going to work on getting some levels back up though. Um, just so we can kind of maybe get some gear. We should have some more gear. Maybe we can work on that in the next episode. Okay, so luckily I had some of this chainmail laying around. It's not the worst set. Um, and this is a shovel I've had for a while. Just Unbreaking 3. I'm probably after this episode, I'm gonna re-roll those enchantments. Um, Still have my Fortune 3 pickaxe and my sword. And luckily, I didn't have my bow or my axe on me. The axe that I've had the same axe the entire game, I do believe, but I don't know. That would have really sucked to have lost that one that way. But, um, yeah, I don't know. I got the blocks together. I think this should be enough. We're going to go ahead and build this together on camera. I think we can probably start it here. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to just do it that way right now. We do 2 of these. Alright, and then fill this in. Then we go over here. Go 2. 1, 2, 3. I'm trying to remember exactly how I had this built. Oh, come on. Okay, okay. Alright. Hmm. Huh. Oh, okay. That's right. Those blocks don't go there. Then you'll take these red blocks all the way across. Like so. And we'll go ahead and slap this staircase right here, like that, on both sides. And then the other staircase on the outside of that one right there. Alright, and then you put these stairs here like so. And these half slabs go right here. On top of this stair, it'll get a full block. And then on top of this block, it's a stair. Then an upside down stair. Then another block. Alright, and then on top of that block, we'll put a stair, then an upside down stair, And then on top of the upside down stair, it's another stair like that. And then it's a full block. Okay, cool. I'm used to building this in creative mode, is where I've worked this out, so I'm not used to building it from the bottom up. So let's go ahead, we'll go to the other side, and we'll just mirror what we go, okay? Let's see. Okay, yeah, that kind of looks like I think it did in my creative world. Let's go ahead and we'll fill in the next layer though of the actual building itself, which that's pretty simple, just block, block. Full red blocks here, and then, oh, well, I gotta go get more stairs. So then from here, kind of gotta find the middle, right? So it'll be right here. We'll take a stair there, and a stair there. Go ahead and put in your next level of your red blocks. Alright, and then we'll go ahead and we'll climb up on top of it. Make it a little bit easier. Take your red blocks. Bam, bam, bam. Upside down stair there. Upside down stair there. Now let's go see what that looks like. We can go ahead though, it'll make it a little bit easier just in case. Bam, bam, bam. Bam, bam. Alright, cool, here we go. Whew, I don't do much building on camera, do I? Okay, see? Alright, there's a little window there. Now you'll want to take some stairs. Bam, bam. Alright. There's a few more things we can do to kind of add a little bit more detail to it. But let's go ahead and get a look at this thing from a distance, which is kind of what I'm most excited for. Okay, so here it is. You see it? Kind of off in the distance. Now, mind you, there'll be blue wool behind it, and this will all be grown up with wheat. But, man, okay, I'm seeing that, and I'm not gonna lie. When I built it in Creative World, I went for a more, like, authentic look, right? A more rugged, like, wooded look. So I used jungle planks and birch planks. But, man, this really pops. Now, when I get this all lit up and the roof is finished and the backdrops are all done on both sides, I think it'll look really, really good. Okay, I'm way happier than I thought I was gonna be. Okay, that's nice. So the next thing we're gonna do, we don't need to really, but I mean, it's gonna be a part of it, is we're gonna take this and we're gonna push it all the way back into the wall, because this right here will be the entrance. We'll walk through here, probably have like a piston door of some sort maybe on the inside of this, and then you'll come in and it'll be like a huge area on the inside, and that'll be where we farm every single animal in the game, right? So that's kind of the next step with that. I think the next thing I kind of want to do is get a silo built. I've got the silo in place, and from here, I can't lie. I think it looks amazing, right? I like the whole feel of down here. I like it a lot. Even as you get a little bit closer, it still really looks nice. Still looks like a silo, maybe it's a little bit farther back, right? And then you come up and now you're on the barn, right? So I don't know. I really like it. It looks nice. Now, granted, up here, when you're up on the thing, it doesn't really look like much of anything. And with that, it's also going to be functional. I'm going to use those lights as the indicator to let me know how full the storage is for all of the wheat. But yeah, so this video is actually kind of a long one. So I'm probably going to go ahead and end it here. I'm going to do a little bit more work off camera with this area down here. So maybe at the start of the next episode, it'll kind of look a little bit better than what it does now. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you did, as always, make sure to slap that like button and subscribe. Peace. Oh, and don't forget to let me know down in the comment section any rules you want me to add, or maybe some future projects you'd like me to build to add to our book. Alright, I'm out.